everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sloan and today we're going to be repotting some plants and I have quite a few to repot, so we might be here for a while. The first thing that we're going to repot is actually not a repot, it's potting some propagations, technically. So maybe I should call this video Pot With Me. That sounds kind of weird. Oh, we're potting up some plants, that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna keep it pretty casual. I don't know, I'm just gonna talk about what I'm doing and maybe, I don't know, answer. I've had like one question, so I'll probably answer that. But I have these three propagations, some arrowhead here, and this is Dieffenbachia, and just a little heartleaf philodendron, and I thought they would look pretty cute, potted up in this little pot, kind of all together. So we're gonna try that. We'll see how it goes, and let's just go for it. So I'm using just my standard soil mix that I've started using recently. It's a little bit of cactus soil, regular soil, perlite, a lot of perlite, and orchid bark. And I keep it in this little tub that is for dog food, but I don't have dog food in it. It is dirt. And I am super nervous about repotting inside. I never repot indoors. I always do it outside. I'm always a hot mess whenever I pot things up and get dirt everywhere. So I'm like a little bit nervous about this. I have noticed that ever since I bought these little like scoops, I'm significantly less messy. So that's good. And I just bought them on Amazon, and at first I thought it was like, I don't know, do I really need it? It's a scoop. Like, I have a shovel, or like a little trowel, and I have my hands, but it makes a big difference. I'll link it down below in case you're interested. I don't know. Yeah, this pot I got on Amazon, and I'm really excited about it. It like looks like wood, but it's actually ceramic, and it's going on my fireplace mantle where we have like a lot of wood stuff up there, so it's gonna fit in really nicely. Is it gross that I'm potting on my dining room table? It's my house, so I'm doing it. Okay, I feel like that's probably enough to get started. I don't know, I filled it up like that much. And yeah, I thought these three would look cute all together. So I guess we'll see how we end up doing this. I think this one is not ready. Like, there's only a few roots. There's a new leaf coming in right there, which is pretty exciting, but I think we're gonna let this one stay in the water for a bit longer, and I'll just add it to this pot eventually. But this one is ready. Oh my gosh, that's quite the root. So I'll stick this one in the back probably. Yeah, that'll look good. So it's the front to you, I guess, but it's the back to me. And honestly, most of the time I just end up using my hands when I'm potting things up. That's why I didn't think that I needed the little scoops. I was like, I have my hands, but I'm not gonna lie, the scoops have been way better than I expected. Totally worth every penny, and they were not expensive. Worth every penny, like they were so expensive. Okay. I don't like how floppy this leaf is. Maybe I need like a stick to help it stand up, but I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I always find whenever I pot up propagations, they look really funky until they kind of figure themselves out. So we'll just let them figure themselves out. So this is a Dieffenbachia, and they are poisonous if you get like the sap on it or if you eat it. So definitely keep this one away from dogs and small children. But also, like, when propagating, when I had to cut this one up, I made sure to like wash my hands afterwards. Oh my gosh, I just got dirt everywhere. It's fine, that's what vacuums are for. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother washing my hands now. So I don't know, maybe you should. I am kind of surprised at how deep, I guess like there was a lot of nodes, it's covered in dirt now, but there was a lot of nodes on this, so I guess it makes sense that, there'd be a lot of roots all over the nodes, but it's kind of difficult to get pot it up in here. I'm gonna leave that there for now, maybe. I don't know. This one, I'm gonna put at the front. I really hate how floppy this is. But I'm gonna put this one at the front and it'll like trail down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleaning after this one. All right, maybe I'll try taking this out now. This is in, I like to reuse jars for my propagations. This is a soy sauce bottle, and this is from Everything But the Bagel seasoning. And look at how long those roots are. I am dripping water all over my nice wooden table. But it's my table, so I can. So I'm gonna stick this at the front. And this little leaf came out while it was water propagating. It used to only be 2 leaves. And there's another one that's already coming out. I don't know. These, I usually don't have too many issues adjusting to soil for water propagations, but I haven't done it with like plants that are high maintenance, and none of these are high maintenance, so I expect they should be fine, and I will just keep it pretty moist for like the first couple waterings, I suppose, and then after that I think they should be pretty fine to dry out. And these 3 plants in particular, I think I said what they are, but I'll say it again. This is a Syngonium, this is a Dieffenbachia, and then just a heartleaf Philodendron. They all have similar needs, so they should do, oh gosh, getting dirt everywhere. They should do just fine together. So yeah, that's the main thing you want to think of if you're going to like repot different plants into a pot. You wouldn't want to put like a ZZ plant with a prayer plant, because like prayer plants like to stay a bit more moist and ZZ plants like to dry. So that would be an example of like something not to do. But I think we're looking pretty good. And like I said, I feel like, actually, okay, so right now I have a little heart leaf kind of going off to the left. I think I want to make it go to the right. So we're going to adjust it, but this should be fine. Yeah, I like that better. And the reason I changed that is because of that Syngonium that's kind of like going everywhere. Yeah, I have quite a few plants to repot, so I'm hoping I have enough dirt. If not, I'll have to mix up some more. Yeah, I think that's gonna look pretty good. And now that like floppy leaf doesn't bother me. So this is how it looks currently. Yeah, I have the little heart leaf here, the Syngonium up here, and then the Dieffenbachia. And it'll fill out. I can propagate the heart leaf a bit more as it grows and, prop it back in. Eventually these guys might get big and I'll separate them. And this pot also came with a drainage tray here. So yeah, I think it's a really nice pot. I'll link that too if you want it. I'll just link all the pots that I can and this stuff that I have down below. But yeah, this is gonna look so cute on my mantle. Number 1 is done, and I'll water it after this for sure. Okay, next we have this red Maranta that is so happy. It has been putting out so many new leaves, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's even got like a new one coming out this way. This is a new one. I keep it actually fairly close to a south-facing window, and I was a little bit nervous about that at first, but it has been doing quite well there. And I see a couple roots poking out the bottom. It might be a little early to repot it. I probably could wait, but I think it'll look really cute in this white pot. And I have 4 of these white pots. They all came together in a set, and I keep this in my bedroom, and I'm going to put a lemon lime Maranta on the other side of it, and it's gonna look so cute, and they're both gonna be these white pots. So I'm just excited, so we're gonna do it. I did get a question on my first YouTube video that I can answer, and it was about how I got into houseplants. And I've always been into plants. I've always had some plants, and my mom has always had a lot of plants, so I've always grown up around that, but I never had space. So I've always had like a few succulents. I got my goldfish plant a couple years ago, so I've had that for a while. And then, you know, the plants that my mom had that I just like lived around. They weren't mine, but they were always around. And then I moved, and now I have tons of space. And so that was really like what made me get into houseplants, was just like having the space for houseplants more than anything else. Okay, I'm curious, very curious to see how the roots are going to be on this guy. I'm struggling to get it out. Okay, so the roots are definitely like down to the bottom, but they're not, it's not root bound, but we're going for it anyway. I will say, best practice would probably be to not repot this yet. However, sometimes you just do it. Sometimes you just do it. It already looks so good in this white pot, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, I've had it for months. So, you know, it's pretty well acclimated. I haven't even really looked at it. I hope it looks okay. And yeah, I keep it like sitting up on top of a shelf. So I might scoot it back in the pot a little bit. I mean, I don't really care how the top of the pot looks. So actually, I think I don't know. I'm gonna scoot it back. But yeah, as long as it looks good from like down below, that's really all that matters in this particular instance. But I think while I have it here, this soil has like this big chunk. I'm gonna break that up. Yeah, I'm making a massive mess. Do you guys repot outside usually? Am I the only one that makes this giant mess? Like, I see these people on YouTube and they just like have their cute little like potting setups. And of course, like I could have a mat or something. It seemed like a lot of work. So now I'm just filling in a little bit up here. That was probably too much. Put a little back here. I'm glad that I scooted this back because I feel like that looks so much better. And I also thought about how with prayer plants, it'd probably be easier to repot them at night because all of the leaves would be straight up. So it'd be like a lot easier to dig into the edges of the pot and just make sure it all looks good. That's what the back looks like, in case you were curious. Yeah, now I have to like lift the leaves up. That seems pretty good to me. Okay, I'm so happy I did this. I think that looks so cute. It's got more space to grow for sure. Yeah, there's the back. A lot of times with prayer plants, people will propagate them and then would like repot back here. So I don't know, I could do that, but I'm happy if it just trails down since it is on a shelf up high. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. It looks so good. Oh, and this set of pots came with drainage trays as well, which is so nice. This is actually taking less time than I expected. So that's good. I feel like usually I take forever when I repot things. But now we're going to do another propagation. So here's some pothos. I think, so when I was given these, I was told they are Enjoy. And for the life of me, I struggle so much to see the difference in like the different types of pothos. This could be a pearls and jade. I don't know. If you know how to tell the difference between pothos, please tell me. Look how cute that looks. It looks like a little tree. Maybe I should just leave it in here. No. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't really care what it is. I just think it's pretty and it was free, and I really like trailing plants for the top of bookshelves and just shelves in general. And we have a lot of shelves in my house, so it works out really nicely. And you should always try to line up whenever you're potting things when they need watered. So I guess for the propagation, it like doesn't really matter, but for like my Maranta, I noticed that I needed to water that on Thursday, and I was like, okay, I should remember to or like I noticed that I needed to water it on Thursday, and I was like, okay, I've been wanting to repot this anyway, so maybe this is a good time. But yeah, so I didn't water it on Thursday, so then it was kind of dry when I just repotted it. Okay, we're going to, I just filled it like partway up with soil. I'm curious how this is gonna look. Let's take these guys out, and there's quite a few cuttings in here, so gosh, they're all like stuck together. Okay, so there's this one that's got some like secondary roots on it. You can see, maybe I'll point at them. So like these are like secondary roots, and it's always good to wait until you get secondary roots before repotting. You know, it's a good bet. This one doesn't have a lot of secondary roots. I could probably wait a little longer for that one. I don't know if I will. This one has some, and this one is the crazy one. So, I don't know. They're all getting repotted, I think. Sometimes it's just a little plant, you gotta survive or die, I guess. I suppose I should try and like figure out how I could get these guys to look good in this pot. And they're going on a shelf to like trail down. This doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely not a full pot on the top. I'll show you once they're kind of settled. But the thing about things like this is that I don't really care if the top of the pot isn't full at this time. I just want everything to kind of be settled. And then after it grows a little bit, I will cut it, propagate it again, and just keep doing that until it's a full top. I will say that that's like very tedious in my opinion to like have to continue doing that. And I would, when I buy plants, I would rather buy them full than like trailing, because it's like a lot easier to just buy it full and it's like zero work for you. But I don't know, if you love propagating, which I do like propagating, but like if I'm propagating, I want to propagate to give my plants to people. I don't want to propagate because I don't like how my plant isn't full and I want to fill it up. Okay. I don't love how this looks. Again, this one is also going on the top of a shelf though, so like it doesn't need to be full, but it is very much not full. Here's a close-up. But like it looks kind of good. It looks kind of good from here. And this is all I'm gonna see. So I think I'm gonna go for it. And I'm gonna leave it like this and cut it sooner rather than later maybe. Like I'll let it like adjust and then I'll just like start propagating. But again, I don't need it. I'm not gonna see the top until I like take it down to water it. And this is just an old pot that I have from like 2016 maybe. All right, so I'm really excited about this pot. I got it from Ted Lair, which is in my, I think I have a shopping video up for when I went plant shopping there, but they also have really cute pots and I'm really excited about this one. I'm the most nervous about repotting these plants though. So where I live, it's really difficult to find Hoya carnosa compacta Hindu ropes for a decent price. So I found these for $15 each, which is very cheap. And I bought 2 of them with the idea that I could put them together and kind of form like a bigger plant, which I don't normally do that, but in this particular case, it seemed worth it. I'm still learning Hoyas though. Like I have a Crimson Queen that is not doing very well. And I don't know, I feel like I should be good with Hoyas because I'm good with succulents. And I feel like they're similar care. I don't know, when I watch videos, they're similar care. But yeah, I'm learning still. But this pot has a hole, which is nice. So what I'm gonna do is I won't keep a tray underneath it, and then whenever I water it, I will stick like a plate underneath it, and then the water will drip down there. But most of the time I'll just have nothing. And for the soil mix, I'm actually going to mix in probably the rest of this orchid bark because Hoyas like to have something to like grab onto. I don't know, I'm hoping they'll be happy in here. it might be too big of a pot for them, but I needed it to be wide to like fit both of them. And it's gonna look so cute, like little hair. I'm so excited, but I'm so scared. So I don't know. I feel like there's two different types of plant. There's a lot more than two different types of plant owners, but like most people are either like very caring for their plants and tend to overwater. I'm more of an underwaterer, sometimes like detrimentally. I may have like very seriously underwatered my Monstera deliciosa. But anyway, that's usually pretty good for like this kind of plant. So I think it'll be fine. I don't know, I'm nervous. My Monstera deliciosa has actually been the hardest plant that I have. It is doing the worst. I don't know, I cannot figure out what's going on with it. I actually have it in chunkier soil than any other plant. Like you would think that it would like a really chunky, like well-draining mix, but I think maybe that's how I underwatered it. I don't know. Whatever happens, I hope it should live. I'm like, it's doing so poorly. It's lost a lot of leaves, but like it was a pretty big plant when I bought it, and everybody says they're supposed to be really easy. So I will wait. Hopefully it'll perk back up, and I think it will. Oh, by the way, I would love to do more like repotting videos like this. I really like watching them on YouTube. But they are pretty fun when people like answer questions. So if you have any questions for me, could be plant related, could be literally anything, I will answer it in another video. Sometimes people will tell stories in these too, so if there's any like stories you want to hear, I can make that happen as well. Okay, that might be too much dirt. I'm gonna take some back out. Okay, I'm not sure how big these root systems are going to be in here. Not very big. Okay, yeah, I'm a little nervous about repotting this. We're just gonna be gentle, and we're just gonna hope for the best. And yeah, with this, I'm going to be, look at how cute that looks as his hair. Oh my gosh. If this dies, I'm going to be so sad. We're just doing it, oh shoot. Okay, so the other thing about Hoya compactas, how do you keep them clean? Like, there's so many different little crevices. Okay, I think I'm gonna open this one up over this plate. Yeah, this root system is, I don't know, there's some that are on the bottom, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna have to break up the root systems a bit to get them to fit, I think. This is some chunky soil that it's in. I hope the soil I'm putting it in is chunky enough. Also, like, immensely dry. Okay. This is the messiest. This is the messiest of anything that I've repotted. Okay. So I need to see how this looks from the front. You guys have had the cute view, but I need to make sure I put like the cutest. I'm getting dirt in all the crevices. Like, do I just give it a shower after this? I don't know what else to do. Okay. I'm gonna have to arrange this. So these grow so slowly. So like, I'm looking forward to it kind of trailing down as hair eventually, but like I definitely don't expect that anytime soon. Okay, that's kind of cute. Maybe this is good. So I put like the taller one in the back, and then I have the shorter ones in the front. Maybe. That looks kind of cute. It will grow eventually, just slowly. I'm gonna attempt to use some of this dirt. Okay. Okay, this is the cutest pot and the cutest plant. I am happy I'm doing this. I'm also still scared about it. Frankly, I am making less of a mess than I expected. And that should tell you what I expected. And yeah, so I've had this Hoya Compacta for, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I let it acclimate to my house before I ever repot anything. I always let them acclimate for at least 2 weeks. And I also will like quarantine them. So like part of the acclimation is also the quarantine where I keep them away from my other plants just in case there's like some issue. Yeah, I'm majorly running low on soil, so it's good that I only have one more plant after this. My favorite plant right now, it's hard to choose favorites, but it's probably my rattlesnake calathea. And I've been so surprised. Also, I'm sorry about the squeaking chair. But I've been so surprised about how easy all of my prayer plants have been so far. It is summer, so like, you know, they're probably doing pretty well because it's humid and everything. So we'll see how they do this winter, but I've been very, very impressed. Every single one of my prayer plants has had a ton of new growth, like over the last month. I'm hoping I picked the best, like, angle for his face. But I suppose it'll just grow how it's gonna grow. Maybe that's enough soil. So when I first started repotting plants, so like years and years and years ago, I always had this habit where I would never like put in enough soil, and then I would water and all the soil would like sink down and there would never be enough. And so I then like adjusted to like adding a lot of soil, and then it was too much. So I think I'm like finding the right balance, but I think he looks pretty cute. I think he looks adorable. Oh my gosh. Please live. That is all. All right, I am very surprised at how we are getting through these. I don't know. When I sat down to film this, I was like, am I going to be able to pot all of these up in a reasonable amount of time? And yeah, I think this is the last one. And this is my Stromanthe Triostar, and I did just water it on Thursday. So, and it's Sunday. I suppose I could say what day it is. But yeah, so it's like definitely not the ideal time to be repotting it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And this is not too much of a big change for it, so I think it'll be fine. But this is actually my prayer plant that is doing the worst. Like it's the only one that I have that has any amount of crispy tips. So that part does suck. And I don't know why that's happening. So yeah, crispy tips. I keep it in my bathroom, so it should be getting a decent amount of humidity, but I mean, it's not consistent humidity, you know, like it's like showering humidity, which is different than a constantly humid room is definitely going to be better. But, you know, I don't know how humid my bathroom truly gets after a shower. So, oh gosh, dirt everywhere. See that? When it's wet like that, it makes it harder to deal with when you're repotting. But I just bought a humidity gauge, and so now I'll get a better idea of like how humid my house is now, which I think will help me in the summer, because I don't know how humid it is now, but whatever it is now, I'm going to like try to maintain in the winter, because obviously like most of my plants besides my Stromanthe has some crispy tips, which could be for other things, but most of my plants really like the humidity as it is now. So if I'm able to maintain that, then they should do fine in the winter, I would think. And the nice thing about my house, I have so many windows. So like I'm not too worried about the decrease in sun that happens in the winter. Like basically on the main floor of my house, the entire south side is almost all windows. Like in terms of like wall space versus window space, it's like 80% windows, I would say, which is so nice. And I have a ton of east facing windows. I live in a very sunny house, or a house with a lot of windows, which is nice because when I bought the house, I wasn't really thinking like, hey, you're gonna like get really into plants and you should make sure to get a house that has a ton of windows. But now I'm like, I can never live in a house that doesn't have tons and tons of windows. This pot is also from Ted Lair, and it came with a little tray, and I really love it. It's glazed on the inside but not on the outside, and I never have, it's got like really nice texture. I'm gonna need to clean it after this because I'm getting dirt on it, but I never have issues with putting my plants in glazed pots. Actually, I have issues with putting my plants in terracotta because I am so terrible about watering every 10 days. Like, I've noticed a lot of my plants like to be watered every 10 days, and I check my plants once a week, and so they end up getting watered every 14 because I'll check my plants every Thursday. I don't check them, on like Sunday, which would be about 10 days. So they get underwatered a bit, which is great for like some plants. Like, I do very well with ficuses, and I love ficuses, but like, honestly, I have an anthurium, just like a regular old flamingo flower anthurium, and I cannot keep up with watering it, and it's in terracotta. So I should really probably take it out of terracotta. And then I could put something that like needs to dry out more. Like, honestly, I could probably put a ficus in a terracotta and it'd probably do pretty well. Or like a Hoya in terracotta. Great. Maybe I should just get, it's a pretty big pot. I should just get a massive Hoya. It would be so expensive. I've been getting and like going through my wish list that I have of plants, and I have a wish list that is like attainable. Like, I don't know. I have a wish list that's like normal plants, I guess, or like plants I can afford, and then I have like an if money was no object wish list. So let me know if you want to see a video about my wish list, and I could do like include both, because it's nice to see like kind of cool plants that aren't super common, but or maybe they are common. I mean, I've had this Ficus triangularis on my wish list for a long time, and I just got it, and it's not like uncommon. I don't know, and it's not super expensive, which is nice. But then I have plants that I really want that are more expensive, that, if the right plant comes up with the right cutting or something, maybe one day I'll get it. But I really want a Philodendron white princess. I think they're so pretty. I'm like not super into pink princesses, but I mean, if I would take a pink princess, like I don't think I would hate it, but they're definitely not like, oh my gosh, like I need a pink princess. They're just so dark. They're like the stems are so dark. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Let me know if you want to see a wish list video. That'd be pretty fun. So my Stromanthe does not have a very large root system. So again, I expect this one, it has been putting out new leaves for me. This guy right here is a new one. So I expect, since I just repotted it, it'll probably have to like build up that root system and probably won't give me like too many new leaves, and that's fine. I am gonna have enough soil for this. That's so exciting. But yeah, the soil that it was in didn't have any perlite or drainage in it, so maybe this will be good for it to have a bit more drainage and it won't sit so wet. Maybe that's the issue. Why would that be an issue for crispy tips? I think the crispy tips might have happened because when I first brought it home, I don't know why, but I was like, I'm going to bottom water this. I'd never bottom watered before, and if you don't know what bottom watering is, it's like when you take the whole plant and like stick it in a like bowl of water and then just like let it soak up the water, like however much water it needs. And I was so excited to try bottom watering. I took a time-lapse video of it. I was so excited. I just like filled up a bowl with some tap water and watered it. And afterwards I was like, Sloan, you just use tap water. And normally it's not a big deal. Like I've watered my plants with tap water for a long time and they were all fine. But now, like for the past like few months, maybe 3 months, and I haven't had this plant for that long. I've had it for like 2 months maybe. For the past 3 months, I've been only watering my plants with filtered water that I let sit out for like 24 hours. And I don't know, the only way to like really know what's in your water is to test it, and I'm not doing that. But at least then it's room temperature is what I say, because like the plants don't like being shocked with like super hot or super cold water. So at least it's room temperature, but like filtered water is supposed to be better than tap water for plants that are sensitive to tap water. And one type of plant that tends to be pretty sensitive to tap water is calatheas and Stromanthes. Prayer plants in general, although like I don't think Marantas are quite as sensitive. But anyway, so it could be that all of the crispy tips and the yellowing is because I watered it with tap water once 2 months ago. And like I will say, it's not too bad, like the crispy tips. It could be significantly worse. I feel like I should have potted this more centered. Also, why am I doing this with the tray underneath it? I just got this tray so dirty for nothing. This is one way to make you clean your dining room table. Don't worry, I'm going to clean it off really well after this and vacuum. I'm so sorry if you think it's really gross that I did this on my dining room table. But it's worked well. It's worked better than I expected for someone who normally pots outside. But anyway, I really should have centered this a bit more. For the same reason with the Maranta, it kind of like leans forward, like all the growth is on one side. But I got this plant. I was so excited about it. I wanted a Triostar for a long time. And in my area, I could only ever find them for sale, and they were gigantic. And I'm like, I just don't need a gigantic plant. I don't know. It'll grow. And I like to buy like 4 or 6 inch pots. I would say they're my favorite. I find that those plants do the best. Like they're big enough to be established and like be comfortable wherever they're at, but they're not like too big that they're like, they don't want change, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to find a small one, and I found this. I was so excited. So I snatched it up. I keep it in my bathroom, and I'm a little nervous to see how it'll do this winter. I've heard sometimes prayer plants do well in the summer and then go downhill in the winter. So I'm just trying to like mentally prepare myself, and I'm planning on increasing the humidity however I can when that time comes. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's really easy to like worry about your plants, and like it's a plant. I say this, plants want to live. It'll live if it wants to. But obviously sometimes they decide not to live. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm about done with this. I probably don't need more soil. This is me going back to my roots, or going back to my previous ways in which I think I add too much soil. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Here she is. And that was my last plant that I had to repot, so I think I'm done. So now I have to clean up this mess, and I also need to mix more soil because I am almost out of soil. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you liked this style of video. It was really, really fun to film, so I hope you liked it. And I would love it if you would follow me here. I forgot that's called subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to me here. And I love TikTok, so if you would follow me on TikTok, that would make me so happy. I do post planty content. I started out on TikTok posting a lot of Animal Crossing content though. So if you scroll back, like there's a lot of Animal Crossing content as well. And my Instagram is linked down below as well if you want to follow me there. I post a lot more like pictures of my plants. So if you're interested in seeing those, definitely check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.